Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Spurs from the Stands. I'm, of course, Sarah. I told you guys yesterday that we were going to go through the World Cup today, but it looks like there's groundbreaking movement at the top of Tottenham Hotspur. Big up, everyone, jumping in to the chat. How's everyone doing today? How are you doing? Sorry, guys, for the delay. As you would imagine, everything's just kicked off. Everything's just gone crazy in the last couple of hours, hasn't it? So, we kind of had to make some adjustments to the live today. Big up to you all jumping in. Oh dear, guys, there's never a quiet day around Spurs, is there? Just when you think to yourself, yes, everything's going to be quiet this summer. We've got the World Cup to look forward to, and then we get the news of Robertson this morning, which everyone was, I think, probably already quite well. Hopefully, people were quite assured of the fact that that was going to happen, because I did tell everyone yesterday that that looked like that was going through. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Yeah, that did look like it was going through, but obviously that was completely overshadowed by this news, which is coming out as we speak. Literally, before I jumped on, the reason why I was a bit late is because I was just watching some stuff on Talk Sport with financiers and stuff, just to get the lowdown, so I can give you guys the full picture of what the hell is going on. I'm very quiet. Why am I very quiet? Someone said that in my video yesterday, although I have got my mic on. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear, but I'm very quiet. I don't know, I can talk closer to the mic. I haven't actually changed anything, so it shouldn't make too much. Maybe I'm just speaking quieter because there's loads of noise next door. The builders are still in next door. Good. Big up to you all. Big up to you all. Oh my gosh, guys, there's so much to get through today. There's so much to get through. And of course, I was going to do my daily World Cup briefing because that's what I've been focusing on, isn't it? So yeah, we were going to talk about the World Cup. However, that is probably going to be parked because this is bigger, groundbreaking news in the Spurs arena, of course. So I presume by now everyone has heard the news about this Daniel Levy slash ENIC. Well, it's not really involving ENIC too much, but it's more about the ownership and potentially Daniel Levy selling his stake in the club. So this is huge, huge news, guys. This is news we've been waiting on for months, if not years. And just to say, if you are new around here, first of all, welcome aboard, because I know some of you have been commenting lately that you are new subscribers to the channel. So welcome aboard. And if you are not clued up with what has been going on with this ownership over the past year or so, then I'm about to run it all down for you and bring it all together and bring all the pieces together of what I've been figuring out over the last couple of hours. So bear with me. Just to say though, as you guys know, kind of like transformation and business transformation is kind of my gig outside of this passion project that is Spurs from the Stands. And I have been looking back over some of my YouTube videos. So I actually, first of all, covered this whole ENIC thing on January the 31st in a video that was titled Levy Leaks, the Academy and What Spurs Fans Need to Know. I then did another update on February the 3rd, which was about January at Spurs and ENIC's hand revealed. And then I did another video on February the 13th called The Spurs Shake-Up. So this is not news. This is not new news. This is just a progression of what I was already sharing with you guys 5 months ago. Now, isn't it a coincidence? Isn't it a coincidence, guys, that today is June the 5th, which is exactly or almost to the day, almost 6 months on from when those conversations were happening back in January. And of course, we knew at the time that there had to be a wait period of 6 months before any other bids could be put forward and accepted. So I think this was a leak that got leaked too early. And this is all my speculation just from what I'm seeing, guys. But I think this has been a leak which has come way too early. And the reason why I say this is because we have had no news from ENIC. We have had no club announcement. We have also had no news from the Levy side. We have had no news on the Levy camp. So to run you down and fill you in, guys, with what the hell is going on. If you are new around here, I laugh every time the Levy PR camp tries to make out that he's a good guy and not a septic, toxic component of ENIC at all. Not one little bit. He's an angel who had to get out and save his soul. Big up, Systemic Frog. Big up to you. Well, we're going to talk about the new ownership and what this could potentially look like, who these guys are, what the hell is going on behind the scenes, because there is so much I want to share with you guys, and it's not as clear cut, and sometimes the grass is not always greener. So we're going to talk about this today, and we're going to have a conversation and open this out to the floor and see what people think about this new ownership and what they are really about. Think boxing, people. Think boxing. Think MMA. This is the new ownership contingent that we are now running in circles with. So just to recap the lowdown where we're at, as we know so far, and this was before this leaked claim, and I'm being very careful with my wording here, guys, because at the moment these are just claims. Okay, there has been no official statements given. So what we knew as of this morning was the Lewis family own 70% of ENIC, and they then have a share in Tottenham Hotspur, which is about 87%. Of that 70% of ENIC, Daniel Levy owned almost 30%, 29.88%. So the news coming out today was that Daniel Levy is selling a 24.99, very specific number, which we'll get into, but a 24.99 stake in ENIC. So he effectively is selling some of, not all of, but speculated to be some of, or the majority of his shares to this company, which is a new name out there, but it's not so new because we're going to dive into this. 8 Sports Capital Limited, and they are a company that is registered in the British Virgin Islands. Billion story. Well, there are some billionaires involved in this one, Jan. There are some billionaires. Big up to you all. Big up to you all jumping in. Hey, Sarah, you're quick on the ball. You're a true baller. Do you know what? Before I go on, actually, there was a really funny comment. There was such a funny comment yesterday, guys. I have to share it with you. Rocco Reagan. I don't know if you're here today, but Rocco said, Sarah's the type of person to have the lost Ark of the Covenant hidden in her shed, but doesn't let anyone see it because she doesn't like the lighting in her shed. And I presume you mean that sometimes I sit on some news and I don't share it because it's not perfected. But look, it's an evolving story, right? It's an evolving story. But big up to you, all of you, for all of your comments. Yes, Richard Sy is ranked the 389th richest person according to Forbes. You've done some Googling already, Orbito. We're going to dive into it. And he does have a fortune of £7 million. But this is where we are currently at the moment, in terms of the ENIC structure and the Tottenham ownership structure. So today, the announcement was an unofficial presser that came out from this company, 8 Sports Capital Limited. So this came out from their camp, not from the Levy camp. And guys, I don't know if this is Daniel Levy sticking the knife into ENIC for like the last final time to like really show them, because look, we know that the ENIC declared to us only last week, ENIC declared to us that they have no intention of selling, and they made that very clear in the Lewis family statement that was given to us last week. So I think this is quite small. So I'll give you the rundown. 8 Sports Capital Limited today announces the signing of a sale and purchase agreement to acquire 24.99 interest in ENIC Sports and Development Holdings, the parent company of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. The transaction is structured through the acquisition from Oakchester Limited of the entire issued share capital of Warburg Holdings Limited and Larking Limited pursuant to the sale and purchase agreement. The target companies together beneficially hold 24.99% of the issued ordinary share capital of ENIC. Oakchester Limited is owned by Whitmore Trust Company, Gibraltar Limited, acting as a trustee of the Levy's Children's Trust and the Warburg's Discretionary Trust, which are family trusts established for the benefit of Daniel Levy's children. A spokesman for 8 Sports Capital Limited stated, "We are delighted to have signed this agreement to acquire." I'm laughing because, like, the Lewis family are probably like, what the hell's going on? This agreement to acquire a significant stake in ENIC. We look forward to working with the club shareholders, management, staff, players, and fans to support Tottenham's continued growth and success. The parties have agreed that no further public comment will be made regarding the commercial terms of the transaction, meaning we're not going to know how much this was for. There's also sort of some hints in there that they are going to be quite involved with the club, because they spoke about management, they spoke about staff, they've spoken about players and the fans. So it's, from what's coming out from their side, it sounds like they're going to be quite involved on the ground. However, some media outlets have retracted these statements. So I don't know if they jumped the gun and went a bit early. I don't know if they went a bit early just to try and seal it off from their side, because I do believe that if a bid is accepted, I think they have to announce it. They have to have, like, I think, I'm not sure, because I remember speaking about it in that February video, the Spurs shake-up video. I spoke about Amanda Staveley. So I don't know who's been here around long enough, but obviously the speculation around then was Amanda Staveley was brokering a deal. So this is very timely, guys. This is very timely that Amanda Staveley makes her appearance at Tottenham, is very involved around January, and 6 months later we get these hints that big news is happening in the background. Yeah. The Lewis family are perpetually wondering what the hell's going on. It's so true. It's so true. They're like, who is Andy Robertson? Who is this new player that we've signed? Tottenham Hotspur who? Relegation? What's championship? Yeah. So true. So true. Big up to you all jumping in the chat. Right. So that was the statement that was released earlier today. So to give you the full story of what's been going on behind this, is that back in September, October last year, 2025, this guy, In-Wing Fai, he, along with a Chinese and American investment-led group, and we knew them as Firehawk Consortings Limited. Now, you might remember that name because they submitted a bid back in that September-October window. Now, they tried to acquire all of ENIC for $4.5 billion, which was rejected. And the Lewis family came out, they unequivocally rejected this. They said, we're not selling the club, it's not for sale. And Firehawk Consortium walked away from that in October. However, earlier this year in 2026, in about that January period, they transitioned to a minority stake bid. So after they failed to take over all of ENIC, they came back in and they said, right, we're going to go for Levy shares. We're going to go for Levy shares. And they tried to get a minority stake. And by sort of this early 2026 period, there was reports resurfacing around the acquisition of the former chairman Daniel Levy's personal shares in the club, which is around that time that we on this channel started uncovering some more of these stories. And this all comes together in this June 2026 announcement with the 8 Sports Capital deal. Now, In-Wing Fai is a co-owner of this company. So there is relation between this Firehawk Consortium and this 8 Sports Capital deal. These are not new figureheads. They're the same figureheads that have having the conversations before. They have agreed, from what we understand, 24.99%. So this is not a full takeover. This is part of Daniel Levy's shares. So effectively, if we're saying that they're looking at, if we're saying that they're looking at 24.99, we're saying that Daniel Levy is going to retain 4.89%. So just under 5%, right? So who are these guys? Who are these new contingent that has come in? Well, guys, this is the lowdown on what, yes, please do like, subscribe, hype, share, all of that stuff. This is a lawyer's dream. Yeah, it is. Whoever's brokering this bid, I swear, Amanda Staveley, if she is involved in this, I wouldn't be surprised. I just wouldn't be surprised, because she deals with, from what we know, sort of from the Saudi Eastern markets, and these guys are linked with Hong Kong and Taiwan, and she is known for brokering deals between the East and the West. So this all just makes sense in my head. I don't know if it's actually true or not, but just speculatively, it kind of pieces together, right? So let me give you the lowdown on who these three guys are. We heard this guy, Wing Fai. He was the he initially fronted that Firehawk consortium's takeover bid. He's a Hong Kong financier. He is the CEO of Triller. Now, I know we have an international audience here, so some of you might know the team known for their revolution of the boxing arena. So boxing, think MMA fighting. They completely bought boxing into the arena of commercialization. Essentially, they completely radicalized it and kind of brought boxing into this sort of, people are going to hate this, but they brought them into this sort of pop culture scene, right? So they are well known for bridging this gap and bringing in this pop culture scene into boxing in the East. So very, very interesting, because they are involved in sports, but indirectly and not directly to football per se. So they're not footballing people. This is the strategic guy who is the front man for this, right? He is the co-owner of 8 Sports Capital, and he is also an investor. However, he is not the big dog. Blood on whose hands? Asset strippers. Who's blood on whose hands? Well, I want to know. Yes, we are going to get to this. There are some Spurs fans in the mix. Don't you worry, people. Don't you worry. Right. So this is the first guy who is the co-owner of 8 Sports Capital. Essentially, what one might say is he went in for a bid for ENIC. It was rejected, and he needed to raise more funds, some might say. And so enter this guy, Richard Sy. Richard Sy. Now, some people say, as you guys have been saying in the comments, that this is essentially the billionaire backer. And I'm not saying he's putting in the most money. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that out of all of them, he has, what someone just said in the comments, a 9.2 billion pound empire, right? He is a big dog. He is a big dog, and he is a Taiwanese billionaire and the chairman of Fubon Financial Holding. Not that I know anything about them, but you could say that they're a financial institution. Let's just leave it at that. Now, he is the co-owner of Triller, that organization that I just told you about, who are very involved in the boxing side of things, along with the guy that I just showed you previously, Wing Fai. So they work together. But this guy was never previously involved in that bid, the takeover bid, in October, September. So it sounds like they needed to get a third man on board. And this is the guy they brought on board. And they did that through this other company, 8 Sports Holding, right? I hope you guys are with me. So he essentially, you could say, and look, guys, this is all speculation because we don't know if it's going to go through, but I can't see how it's not going to go through. I think they forced the hand. I think they forced the hand with this PR statement. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, he is supporting what is reportedly the £1 billion valuation on the deal. So what we heard in January, February was Daniel Levy wanted 1 billion for his shares. So there are 2 aspects to this. Why is it 24.99%? Is it because of a financial restriction that the valuation was too high and so they had to go in lower? Or is it a case that anything over 25% means that you have certain decisions and certain weight and you can block certain decisions that are had, and ENIC want to retain their rights, or I shouldn't call it ENIC. I should say the Lewis family, because effectively they're buying part of ENIC. So what we're saying is that the Lewis family are still majority shareholder, and therefore they will want all the sporting decisions made through them. And therefore they're not going to want to give away more than 25%. Now, the third guy in this mix is this guy, Brooklyn Eric, the famous DJ. he he got known as a bit of a DJ, but I think that was to kind of taint his reputation because he is a big dog. He is the CEO of 8 Sports Capital. Now, obviously, this guy was also involved in that Firehawk Consortium bid last October. Now, he's former NASA engineer, tech entrepreneur. He is a lifelong Spurs fan. So whoever just asked in the chat, who are the Spurs fans? This guy is a Spurs fan, from what we understand, from what we know. And he was the guy who led that bid back last year. So he now supposedly is fronting this 8 Sports Capital acquisition. If I was to call anything right now, I would say if there was a seat at boardroom level and whoever this takeover is going to be, they want a seat at the table, even if it's just a voice, right? In the back room, if you've got a board of execs and one of these guys wants to be on that board of execs, maybe they're ironing out in the background the contractual and limitations of this ownership. So maybe ENIC don't want them to be on the board, right? That's a real possibility. ENIC might say, we don't want you on the board. We don't want you having any involvement on the club. You can be a silent party, but you can't have any influence on the club whatsoever. However, I don't think these guys would do, like, even if it's not $1 billion, I don't think that they come in and just agree after spending $1 billion that they're not going to have any contributions whatsoever, because where these guys really prosper is revolutionizing clubs and bringing them into, or businesses, should I say, and bringing them into the 21st century. So they are very influential in overhauling things like media rights, for example, streaming distributions. So if you think, we've just heard the news, it kind of all pieces together because we just heard the news that the sponsorship deal is expiring and that's going to cost the club 20 million, right? However, considering this guy Eric has very good links and all of these three are very good with overhauling these media rights, maybe there's going to be new opportunities and maybe they're holding out for something even bigger, right? This is very high risk. Either way, whether it goes through or it doesn't, it's very high risk, it's very disruptive. And in terms of, I guess you could say, Triller, the company that the two guys I showed you before, this Richard and what did I say his name was? Fang Why? They are basically have this model of like a how can I say it? They basically bought celebrities into the MMA arena. So when you think about like sort of internet celebrities coming into the MMA sort of legends arena, these are the guys that kind of bridge this gap. So it's very disruptive from the perspective of a commercialization model, because Eric, he is very keen to, I guess, leverage tech is a way that I would say. He would want the club to aggressively push through away from like traditional operations and cautious operations that you could say maybe Spurs have been subject to in the past, being a little bit cautious. So he's much higher risk than, from the outset, from what I'm reading, he's much higher risk than maybe someone like a Daniel Levy. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or not, but he is expected to lobby for things like higher player wages, you know, high blockbuster sort of profile signings, maximizing global media visibility. That is kind of Eric's jam. He would want to raise the profile of Tottenham Hotspur as a club internationally, even more than it already is. The other thing that these guys have been particularly good at is that there was a time where traditional boxing was kind of like wilting away a little bit, and these guys basically got back in and leveraged the Gen Z fan base. So they're very good at getting the next generation and attracting younger consumers. And that is an area which Spurs are massively struggling in at the moment. And we know that because that's been reflected in things like the ticketing changes for next season. We know that we have an aging population at Spurs when it comes to actual season ticket holders, which is why they tried to or a few years ago, they changed the pricing structure at Spurs so not to give senior citizens 50% discount. And this year is the first year we're seeing the reintroduction of junior discounts and student discounts at Spurs. So we know that this is a huge problem at Spurs in terms of bringing in the younger generation into the fan base. So this is something that I think this new ownership would help support with, and maybe it's actually something that's actually needed. And they're also very digital and tech heavy. So we know that Spurs has recently gone through this tech revolution in the past year. We saw the launch of 2 new apps. Who knows? Maybe there's been a link in the background between these guys. You know, maybe they've had a hand in this tech restructuring. That's not the right word I'm thinking of, like the technology overhaul. It was even in the budgets, in the financials last year, that when we went through a couple of months ago, in April, we went through the finances and there was a whole section about like the technological overhaul. So I don't know whether this is linked at all, but their interest really is driving club exposure from what I'm seeing of like what they're about as people. And as I said before, they're very keen on the live sporting and bringing it together with pop culture extravaganzas. So you could think like, you know, if you think Spurs Stadium is very good at, you know, the Chris Browns and the Beyoncés or whatever of this world, these guys are going to amplify that even more because that effectively is their jam, right? And they are basically walking into a business which has a ready-made business model with that commercialization attached to the side. So you could say this would be like a dream enterprise for these guys to walk into. So from that perspective, maybe this is a match made in heaven. Maybe it's not. Who knows? Let me know, guys. What do you think? What do you think? I'll tell you, I'll come to the chat in a second, and then we're going to go through some transfer links and other little bits as well. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys are having a party in the chat. I love it. But that's the rundown from what I'm seeing so far. Obviously, there's been no official news or statements to come out yet. However, as I said before, I think given the fact that this has been in conversations for well over a year now, I'm tempted to think that this was probably just a mistake, that they probably shouldn't have said it because they said it earlier than it should have been. Although, something that does feel a bit fishy to me is that we had the announcement of Robertson, and literally within an hour, like literally within an hour, this statement comes out. So maybe they were trying to soften the blow by doing the Robertson deal first. Maybe Spurs got annoyed because they wanted the Robertson deal to have a bit more lag time before they announced this. Who knows? But let me come to the chat and let me know, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys saying? Are we happy that maybe Daniel Levy's going? Are we not happy? What are you guys saying? Will you be keeping an eye on Robbo for Scotland? Hey Niall, big up to you. Yeah, we can watch a bit of Scotland. Why not? We can watch a bit of Scotland. The keeper of the Gates of Hell. Spurs. Do you know what? We do need a new DJ. We do need a new DJ. You got the early bus home to be here. Oh, Broadbean, big up to you. Big up to you. You didn't need to do that for us, but I appreciate you. Yeah, we do need a new DJ. Why do we want Morgan Gibbs White if we already have Xavi and Madders? We'll talk about transfers in a little bit. Why Lange sending me? Interesting news on this one. Why is Lange sending messages When Robertson signs, this guy should be at my club. I didn't see any Lange message. Well, no, there was a quote from Lange, but we'll talk more about this because I think the way it's positioned is they want it to be, they really want it to be from De Zerbi. So there has been statements today from De Zerbi as well. Some of you guys are talking about Rashford. He's on my radar. We will talk about Rashford shortly. Yeah, today's the day to thumbs up. Yeah, big up. Thank you. Please do like, subscribe, comment, and share, and all of that jazz. Tottenham should sell. Tottenham should sell ENIC. I think you mean ENIC should sell Tottenham. Lange and Vinay. What else are you guys saying? Richard Sy also has a brother, Daniel Sy, who is ranked 363rd richest according to Forbes. So what did you say before? Let me find your comment before. Didn't you say, Obito, didn't you say that he was also in the top 300? 389th. So his brother is richer than him. Why didn't we get his brother? Why don't we get his brother? Maybe he can bring his brother on board. Fortune of 9.6 million, but not certain he's involved in the Spurs affair. Yeah, I don't, not from what I'm seeing, his brother's not involved in this. But as I said, this is a very, very early press release. And I think I think someone just sent the email out. Do you know what? This feels like one of these. Do you know? ENIC cannot control their camp. Either way, ENIC cannot control their camp because either way you look at it, either this is like a case where Levy got so pissed off that they came to an agreement and they jumped the gun and put the press release out there, or ENIC were like, hang on a minute, we want to see if we can get another bid, or there's something, I don't know, there's something, I'm only saying this because I literally just watched the video from TalkSport before I came on live, and they were saying that some press outlets were retracting their statements. So something might have been leaked in the wording which wasn't supposed to be, is what I'm getting at. But we don't know that for sure yet. Big up to everyone jumping in. Levy and Joe are probably still agreeing his fee for not selling 8. That 0.01%. He's probably making another 100 million on top. Maybe that's what the art collection was for. Well, the art collection doesn't go through until, I think it's on auction tomorrow. I think it was June the 6th, the art auction. Did I say it was June the 6th? But yeah, that would be a very interesting progression, wouldn't it? I mean, look, sounds like we're making signings left, right, and centre. So, Lewis family. Don't think it's gone on sale yet. Not gone on sale yet. I think the auction was tomorrow, maybe. Does this mean more money is coming in? I hope so. I don't know, but I hope so. I can't tell you that for sure. If we make the 8 consortium bid to determine value 3.1 billion, then Levy got circa 775 million pounds. Yeah, it could be a billion. It could be $1 billion dollars. It could be $1 billion. That is possible. Okay, Sarah, Virgin Islands tax is not free, but it's 0%. I don't know where that comes into play in this though, but I'm sure it will make an impact somewhere, like somewhere down the line, won't it? He has thought, yeah. So look, 24.99 is considered for sure. It's a considered bid at the end of the day. I think, look, this could be a two-phase approach. This could be ERIC and Co. or 8 Sporting, whatever we'll just call them 8 Sporting for now. But this could be a case where they want to get a foot in the door. So they're going initially for Levy's share. And if it doesn't work out with ENIC, maybe there's enough backing there to take them all out. And please, please, please. Oh dear, I think most of us just want to see the back of ENIC now. I don't even, do you know what? I don't even care. I don't even care if it is ENIC. I just don't want Lange here anymore. But it doesn't look like he's going anywhere from the statement that was out this morning, but we'll go through that. It is quite vague. However, I would say that because the links, Solcrets, because the links have been very strong since October last year, resurfaced in January, and now we're 6 months on from that. That is the timeline. That is the timeline. And if we were hearing news on February the 3rd, who knows? Maybe an agreement was already done a month before that. It wouldn't be the most unbelievable thing if a deal was done a month before that. The weird thing is that the Levy side hasn't come out and said anything. That's the weird thing. But I think they're forcing their hand. We know ENIC goes slow. We know ENIC is slow off the blocks. They don't know what they're doing half the time. So maybe this guy here, Brooklyn, maybe he was like, screw it, just put the press release out. Do you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If they're going to come in and cause disruption at the top, that's what we need. We need a bit of disruption at the top because we're so badly managed. Could this lead to a hostile buyout with Levy being back as chairman? No, I don't. No, I think Levy's era is done, Richard. I think Levy's done and dusted, if I'm honest. And I don't think it's a hostile buyout. If anything, a hostile buyout would be if Daniel Levy sold all 30% of his shares. Then that would be hostile. But because it's a very considered number that we're hearing, this 24.99, I'm inclined to think that it's not so hostile, that this was done intentionally so they don't have a majority stake, meaning that a majority stake would be over 50%, but in some clauses, anything over 25% would mean that you have weight in, let's say, boardrooms or decisions at executive level. So there must be something in the fine print, which is about that 25%, is what I would say. That would be my assumption based on this. Don't like consortiums. Well, does anyone like any ownership, other than maybe like Arsenal? I don't know. Does anyone like their ownership? There's a lot of unhappy football fans out there, and this is what we were calling for. We were calling for change, and it sounds like it's here. So we can't complain about it now if it's being done. It's literally the biggest minority stake you can sort. Yeah, exactly. We need to identify retailers who hold any alpha shares still to get 8 across the line now. Force a B to issue. The problem, so the thing with, it's not really a problem, but the thing with Spurs is obviously ENIC have 82%. Is it 82 or 86%? What did I just say it was? Already forgotten. 87%. So the other 13% is a minority shares from the fan base, mostly like small stakeholders, so unless they got like all the old fans who bought up those shares back in the 90s, unless they're going to get them to sell them back, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. They can never have 100% share. Well, they can, but it'd be very hard to do to get everyone to sell it back. See Hong Kong, and it's never gone well for any club who've gone down this line. Well, we tried ENIC and it hasn't worked. We tried ENIC. So I don't think you can generalize. I think you just have to take the individuals and see what good they've done in their arena and what their forte is, Leicester City vibes. Oh, hello, banking. Here he is. Here he is. Mate, we're not getting relegated. We're not getting relegated, mate. No, Broad Bean, don't be agreeing with him. Don't be agreeing with him. He's trolling us. He's saying that we're going to get relegated back to back. What's the difference with Jim Radcliffe buying into United? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about the Man United setup or speculation around that. I'm going to be honest, so I don't want to comment on it too much. But it's the same sort of model. But you could say that Jim Radcliffe is an individual businessman, a bit like Daniel Levy. So what we had, or what we currently have, because the deal hasn't been done yet, but what we currently have with the structure of Daniel Levy and ENIC is similar to Radcliffe and the Glazers. From that perspective, yes. But if this consortium was to buy out, then it would change. Clearly, the board reiterating that the club is not for sale clearly indicates they were aware it would be announced. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Darfasha. Dafasha. That is true. Yeah, they probably did. They probably knew it was going to come. Yeah, maybe that was them giving us the signal. Um, Friends, soon we will dominate the world of football. It's only a matter of time. I'll big up Abito. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm so ready for next season. I mean, I know we've got a long way to go. I'm actually getting quite sad we don't have any games, even though we were so bad. But I got so excited at the end of the season under De Zerbi. I'm like, I want to see more of it. What else are you guys saying? Well, so many messages. Sarah, I have a question. If ENIC doesn't want to invest money in the team, can they do so if they wish? I presume you mean this new consortium, and we don't know the details yet. Nothing's been announced. Nothing's been announced as of yet. Just that the internet's gone crazy, basically, about this link, and it just follows through on everything we've heard. It just completely backs up everything we heard back in that February transfer window. The change I'd like to see, Sarah, is all this ownership and share stuff hide under a rock. We're in a world of football where owners are the limelight and Spurs are tossed around like a rag doll. Hey, Stig. I'd like to see ownership and share stuff hide under a rock. I mean, our owners are only in the limelight because we're so badly run. If we were well run, no one would really talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's talking about Arsenal's ownership. Like, no one cares because they're doing a really good job. Were only talking about Man United because they were in a tough spot. People were only talking about West Ham because they've been in a relegation battle for years. So I think when things are going well, you don't really need to talk about these things. And at the same time, obviously our chairman, who was here for 20 odd years, left last year. So of course it's going to be front page news. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. Was just What are you saying? Was just wondering. Hi, Ben. Oh, big up, Ben. Are you one of our new members? I think I gave you a shout out in one of our videos, but big up to you. I don't know if I've seen you in a live. Was just wondering why someone would spend 1 billion just to sit in the corner. Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to have a bit more pull on this. They might have an agreement where they're going to deal with the media side. I mean, if they can start getting more events at the stadium, who knows? Although I said previously that was down to Haringey Council, not up to Spurs, so it's very complex. And I saw the woman who dissed me. Oh, big up, Richard. Wait, was it you who said the woman went up to you in the supermarket and pointed at your Spurs tattoo? Was that you or someone else? Some of you have said such funny things. I can't remember if it was you or someone else. Someone walked up to you in the supermarket and laughed when we were in the relegation zone and they were a West Ham fan. Was that you? You saw the same woman. That's amazing. Did you say anything to her? You were like, sorry, mate, you're going down. Up the imps. Up the imps. That's brilliant. Lewis family have been putting money in. That is true. They have been putting money in. Hi, Ulrika Kaka. Yeah, people they have been putting money in. It's so true. And I think a lot of the news is that, well, they're not putting money in, blah, blah, blah. They put money in, they just spend it so badly because we've been in this stupid managerial merry-go-round for the last 2 decades. Levy has never been able to, as all his wealth is in ENIC shares. This announcement is good news. Eric can match Lewis family investment. Yeah, so one of the things about this is that Eric, not Eric actually, it's this guy. It was this guy. This guy is the guy with the liquid assets. This is the guy with the liquid assets. I don't think Eric is as heavyweight as this guy. I think this guy, if you're looking for money, And it's going to come from this guy. From what I'm seeing, I could be totally wrong. It's just what I'm reading speculatively online. Big up to you, Tom. Thanks for the super. Shame focus on owners, not how to improve the squad. Yes. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the squad. I don't believe there is a coincidence between this and our sponsor. Yeah, there probably isn't, but they might be holding off on a renewal because they know that there's a big change coming, and with new connections could mean new sponsorship opportunities, potentially. But with 1 year left to go on the deal, knowing that you're in the Premier League next year, I mean, the problem is that they might wait until next year to see if we can get some European football, because then the deal will go up speculatively. But yeah. Well, she shuttled off quick and sharp. Big smile on. Brilliant, Richard. Brilliant. That's hilarious. Oh, I would have laughed in their face. I would have laughed in their face. I would have been like, "You are going down, mate. You are going down." And thank God it's not us. Thank God it's not us. Yeah, serves you right for having that Spurs tattoo, doesn't it? Showing it off in public. It's all right when you're doing well, but not so good when you're in a relegation battle. Anyway, guys, let's move on. Let's move on. I saw a grown man, Arsenal fan, try to chase and fight two kids that mocked Arsenal about the Champions League final. Oh dear. Savage. Savage. Look, it's been all over the internet. The remixes of the Gabriel goal has gone absolutely on fire, I must say. Anyway, guys, let's move on from the takeover story of the day. And has someone just done a raid? Has someone just done a raid? Has anyone done a raid? I feel like loads of people just jumped in. Well, let me know if you have. Big up to you all just jumping in. Unless there was a glitch in the matrix for a second. Oh, football terrace. Oh, big up, Terry. Big up to you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for the raid. Well, guys, we've just, if you are just jumping in, we've just wrapped up the Yep, I raided myself. Big up, Terry. Big up to you all. Yeah, you guys have just missed the headline story, which was about the takeover speculation at Spurs. So we are now talking about the latest news, which was obviously about Robertson, who had the official, should I say, the official announcements earlier today, and we heard him live from America, who gave us the hello. He can't wait to join us, which is like super exciting. I can't wait for him to join us. I'm so buzzed about this. Because there are so many guys. Actually, I'm sure a lot of you jumping into the chat now are not Spurs fans. Is anyone in the chat a Liverpool fan? And can anyone give us any insight into this Andy Robertson signing? Because in the Spurs fan base, people have become so jaded by our ownership. We're letting that take over from what could be a fantastic signing. And as I've said previously, Robertson has been a title winner, Champions League winner. He's basically won everything under the sun with Liverpool. So yeah, please do like, subscribe, comment and share and all of that jazz, because it does help the channel. And I believe when I started streaming, we were 5 people away from 6K on the channel in terms of subs. So big up. But anyway, Andy Robertson, back to this one. So the news on this front was this, from what we understood so far, sorry, I've just jumped around, is that this was a 2-year deal until 2028 with a year option to extend, 8.2 million, including bonuses. That was the latest that we heard on this front. And he's given us the message. I wonder if it's going to play. Okay, he's basically saying he's looking forward to coming next year and he's going to see us soon. So I personally can't wait for him to come. I think this is a great signing. It's a great upgrade on what we already have. News coming out is Udogie might be leaving, as is some of our other players. So more stuff on this. However, one thing that I did notice on this was De Zerbi's statement on this. So this is amazing PR. Some of you were saying in the chat earlier that Johan Lang was the spearhead behind this. And I think that they have pushed De Zerbi in the forefront of this to make it very clear that this was a De Zerbi signing and it was a player that De Zerbi is back behind. So I'm just gonna, I think it's like 30 seconds. So a little bit about Andy Robertson and what he'll bring to the club.
Excited because he's a Scottish player, first of all, and I love Scottish players. And then he brings experience, mentality, qualities, and he's a big player for us.
Where does your love of Scottish players come from?
No, I worked with Bill Gilmore in Brighton. I love their mentality, their passion in football.
Tell me a little bit about Andy Robertson and what he'll bring. So there you have it. De Zerbi loves Scottish players. De Zerbi loves Scottish players. I think this is a case where Johan Lang has obviously got this one over the line and they've basically gone, right, Roberto, please give us the statement because the fan backlash is going to be around the fact that it was a club signing. So the official statement on the Spurs website said, Sporting Director Johan Lang, we are delighted to welcome Andy to the club. And I'm going to just imagine like everyone lost their heads in the Spurs camp because we're like, Johan Lang is the Sporting Director still. So I think that they put De Zerbi in a PR video on this just to emphasize the fact that this is a Roberto De Zerbi signing, not just a club signing, and De Zerbi is happy with it. And he just told us he loves Scotsmen. However, I am a bit skeptical about Roberto De Zerbi now because he said he has one face and he told us at the end of the season, I love these players. They're the best players in the world. Mickey van der Ven, best centre-back. Matthias Tell, best left-back. Today it sounds like Tell is leaving, which we'll talk about in a minute. But after the season then went out and we knew we were in the Premier League, he then came out and said, right, we have 12 good players. The rest have to go. So I'm taking what De Zerbi says with a pinch of salt. However, I think if De Zerbi would have said no, they would have just not signed the player. So he said that he's someone he's admired for a number of years. He's going to bring leadership and mentality to our team. And it's a no-brainer for me. Intelligent player, reached 3 Champions League finals. Obviously, they won against us. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Yeah, they won against us. And they also won UEFA Super Cup. He's also won the FIFA Club World Cup. The guy's won everything. And we need, even if he's not going to play every game, we need a player like this in our camp. For sure, we need a player like this in our camp. We do not have anyone. He might be past his prime, but we don't have a profile like this at the club. So I do think that this is a very, very good first signing for Roberto De Zerbi. Did I just see another super chat? Big up to you, JK Who. Big up to you. Actually, I should probably check the supers, shouldn't I? I should probably check the supers. But yeah, if there were any other supers, I will come back to them. Have I frozen? I'll have to come. Oh, I did miss. Sorry, someone else gave a super, but I've lost it in the chat. Tom Stan said, "Shame focus on owners, not how to improve the squad." Oh, did you say maybe we did that one already? Maybe we did that one already. Anyway, thank you very much, JK Who. I hope, what are you guys saying? Oh my goodness, guys, you guys just jumped in. Oh no. What are we up to? Rashford. Rashford. Right, we'll come back to Rashford. We will come back to Rashford. Sorry, I meant Richard's side billion, obviously billion, and not 9.6 million. Obviously, what was that? If I said that, it's probably a slip of the tongue. Well, Hotspur Sam said is nothing in the world of finance. I think that makes them richer than ENIC. I don't know how much ENIC is worth, but I'm pretty sure that's worth more than ENIC. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's richer than he's richer than Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis is worth around. Have I frozen? Joe Lewis is worth just under 7 billion. So he's wealthier than Joe Lewis and the Lewis family. So it might be nothing in the world of finance, but our ownership is not as rich as the Glazers. The Glazers are way, way richer than our ownership. You know, they are way richer than our ownership. And realistically, it might be nothing in the world of finance, but in terms of Spurs, it's wealthier than what our owners are already valued at, you know. We don't know if this is a hostile takeover or partnership. We don't know that. Yeah, the public still own the Alpha shares. Yeah, that was about the 13%, wasn't it? I wonder what the significance of the 24.99 is. Maybe it gives them some leverage. No, it's more. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. It's got to be less than 25, because if it's above 25, speculatively, then they can have more pull when it comes to like blocking decisions that are made. So I think this is a Lewis decision, intentional decision, not to give them more than 25%, which means that Daniel Levy, sorry, can hold out his 4.89%. At Arsenal, we love our ownership. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I hope one day that we love our ownership as well. We are run like a bloody circus. And it's not, look, I know fans laugh about it, but it's not the fans' fault that we're owned by a circus. I mean, they weren't able to take us to the next level. That's the truth. Levy wants to buy into a basketball franchise. Good luck to him. As long as he's out of Spurs, I don't care. As long as he's out of Spurs, good riddance. Next up is ENIC, but I think if this is a first step in ENIC being taken over by what could be 8 Sporting, then we'll see. We'll see what the collaboration's like if it is going to go ahead. What were you guys saying before? I had a premonition. We will finish third. There's loads of gooners in the chat now. You might not want to be saying that. But I had a premonition we're going to win the league. I actually did. I had a thought last night. I wonder what the odds are on Spurs winning the league next year. Outrageous, outrageous. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. But I do think we can be very competitive next year. That's for sure. We definitely can be. Oh, did I misread something, Hotspur Sam? I don't know. Well, there's been like hundreds of comments because we just got raided, so I lost the chat because yeah, we got overtaken at some point, and I'm not actually sure if all the messages came through. I'm not sure if all the messages came through. I think I missed some messages, to be honest. Anyway, someone did comment about Robertson, but I can't find the comments. But the general consensus is he's a very experienced player. He is going to bring experience to our squad. So I personally cannot wait. San Antonio Spurs. Hey James, big up, big up. Right, moving on. Moving on from Robertson, because we have more to cover, more to get through today. Other news. So this was just him. It's official. That was a statement from ENIC. There's been some names circulating. Bruno Guimaraes. Supposedly, dream target for Spurs. Dream target. Dream being the operative word on this one, because I don't know realistically if there's any weight to this whatsoever. But the speculation is that Roberto De Zerbi has said that Bruno Guimaraes is a dream target, meaning that I want this player, but maybe I'm not going to get him. It's what maybe I'm reading into that one. Obviously, he's still a Newcastle player. Centre mid, can play defensive mid. We know that De Zerbi is desperate for a defensive mid. So I don't know whether he can be that versatile, but last season, 29 matches, 9 goals, 5 assists. He does sound like a player that De Zerbi would love to have at the club. However, I don't think that. I mean, look, maybe it is. Maybe we can live in dreamland now. I don't know. Maybe we can. But I am a bit skeptical as to whether this is or not. For some reason, the chat's stopped coming through. That might be why. Guys, you broke it. Terry, what did you do, man? What did you do, Terry? Hold on. Guys, I'm refreshing my chat. All you raiders that came in. Right. Well, sorry if I've missed quite a lot. Let me see. Oh, we're on 6K subs. Big up. Big up. Thank you, guys. Arsenal will win the league again. Google all the clips of Cronky out in 2021. Yeah, look, football fans are very cynical, right? Football fans are very cynical. I don't know where I got up to with the chat. I don't know. Guys, I must have missed about 100 messages. I'm so sorry. Right. We'll move on. Right, moving on. So this one is signed, sealed, and delivered. Of course, this is next. Savinho will be next. Maybe Van Hecker is next. Transfer links out. First off the blocks has been Tell. And the word on the Tell front is gone. What was the news on the Tell front? Right. Tell reportedly wants to leave Spurs this summer, and Porto is said to be the primary club interested in him. Journalist João van Boysen reported on X that Porto are considering a move for the forward and that Lille, Frankfurt and Bournemouth have also inquired. The path for a transfer is a loan with an option to buy. So speculation on this front is that he might not go out straight away, but he might go out on loan, and then maybe we end up selling him long term. The interesting thing about this one is that there have been links today. Actually, I don't know if I've done it in here. No, I haven't. But the links on this one specifically is that the latest name that we've been linked to is Cody Gakpo from Liverpool. So, of course, if we're talking about signing Savinho from City, which is a pretty big move, and then you're thinking about someone like Gakpo from Liverpool. I don't know how real these links are, guys, but according to reports, Cody Gakpo has expressed a wish to leave Liverpool following Arne Slot's exit from Anfield. The Dutch outlet Soccer News has heard from its sources in England that the attacker also wishes to leave after Slot was sacked. So there's a couple of sources now saying that Gakpo wants to leave. Several sources have reported to Soccer News that Tottenham Hotspur have a serious interest in Gakpo. Tottenham intends to try to acquire the Dutchman from Liverpool. We're basically going to become the Netherlands squad, aren't we, at this rate? We are literally going to become the Netherlands squad. Can you imagine if we get Somerville as well? That would just be, I don't think we are, but that would just, yeah, basically be the whole Dutch squad, wouldn't it? Van Hecker, Gakpo, Van der Ven, Xavi Simmons, Somerville. I don't know. But anyway, this one seems to be that in the coming days you might see some links between Gakpo and Spurs because they hope to convince him to move to London with the new project under De Zerbi. And Tottenham is privately working on a plan to convince the attacker and Liverpool in the coming period. So keep your eyes peeled on this one. He has also been linked to Atletico Madrid, Milan, but that was back in sort of the January transfer period. So he hasn't been linked to anyone at the moment. However, it does sound like there is strong interest. And look, considering Andy Robertson has moved, maybe he can get his mate to move as well. I don't know. What do you guys think to both Tell leaving the club, Savinho and Gakpo coming in? What do you guys reckon to that one? Can't wait for Tell to leave. Tell is terrible. Oh dear. Oh dear. I mean, I'd take Gakpo. Why not? Being hailed as the new Modric. Who's that? Who's been hailed as the new Modric and Drew Bennett? Are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Are we talking about Guimaraes? Are we talking about Guimaraes? Or are we talking about someone else? Good signing. Robertson will bring experience to the squad. Agreed. Keep them coming, ENIC. Yeah, it's 24.99. It's 24.99. But yeah, maybe I need to update with the title of the video. I don't know. It's 0.1%. I'll update it later. I can't do anything now. I don't have a team. It's just me here. So I can't edit it right now. Alice, fan of Man U, predicting us Oh, I saw she did a video, so I haven't watched it though. But she predicts us finishing 7th. I think we've got to see what more signings we make, but I think we can finish higher than 7th. We can finish higher than 7th. If we start next season, how we finish this season, we're coming for everyone, mate. We are coming for everyone. I'm telling you. Famous last words. Put my money where my mouth is, eh? Put my money where my mouth is. But there was this very interesting stat that I did read just to back this up, that I'm not just coming out with rubbish, if I can find it. If I can find it. Here, it was this. Oh. Oh, it's really annoying. Oh, it doesn't let me see the whole post. Oh, that's stupid. Okay. Oh, I hate Instagram on the computer. Okay. Laptop's not showing it. Laptop's not showing it. What else are you guys saying? Need to get out a few. Basketball added to the sporting profile would be massive for the Forest income. Maybe. We should keep Tell. There is a player there. The thing is, James, I think Tell wants first team minutes now. And because we've got no European football, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard. But if Porto want him, I think sell him. Someone please check Sean Butler is okay. The Tell news will hit him hard, or maybe he'll be thankful he doesn't have to die on the hill. Look, we always said Tell was a player with potential, but we can't have a whole squad that's just potential. I mean, it's kind of a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Like, we got to a point now where you can't have a squad built of these youngsters. We do need experience. It's been clear to see in the last 2 seasons. So if they're looking at getting rid of Tell and bringing someone in, I don't really mind. This was it. In the 7 Premier League matches under Roberto De Zerbi, Spurs faced 17 shots on target, the fewest in the league. In the 7 Premier League matches prior to that, so this is under Igor Tudor, Spurs faced 41 shots on target, which was the most in the league. The improvement Roberto De Zerbi has brought to this football club in such a short period of time cannot be undermined. And guys, it's huge. You know, we basically halved the number of shots that were going against us in games. So the De Zerbi effect is real. Like, people want to be cautious about it, but because people don't want to get carried away or excited, but he is the manager to take us forward. And I tell you what, I'm so glad that we got De Zerbi. And do you know what? Iraola to Liverpool, I like it, but there's every chance that that can end up being a Thomas Frank situation. You know what I mean? Like, is he proven at that level? Yeah, he got Bournemouth, but to European football, but is he going to get Liverpool winning the Champions League? You know, that's ultimately what Liverpool want to do. So there's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of change this summer, guys. Loan tell but not sell him. Need 2 strikers. Right, let's move on. What else have we got for you today? Transfer links out. Manor Solomon. I spoke about Manor Solomon yesterday. Manor Solomon, this is why I have to have the slides, guys, because I go off piece. But yeah, the news on Manor Solomon, I said yesterday, according to Alistair Gold, was that there was speculation he might be staying. However, he stated to Israeli media that he has not said goodbye to Fiorentina, and he published a post that he wants to thank the club, but he didn't say that he's not going back. So there's a possibility that he might go to Fiorentina. And of course, we know that the link around that is, of course, Paratici and his dealings. So there is a possibility that Manor Solomon does go out this summer as well, which I'm not too bothered about. And hey, if you're going to buy Gakpo, then it can't be the worst thing. The other thing on the transfers out is that Vicario, who we spoke about yesterday, we spoke about Vicario with links to Inter and Juventus. The story on this front is that there was an agreement reached with Inter Milan to move to the San Siro. However, Nerazzurri withdrew this agreement. So the speculation, and this could be why now Juventus are in the mixer, because they are now seriously considering Vicario. He's speculated to be costing around 20 million euros, and his wage demands are between 3 to 4 million euros a year, which supposedly is what being speculated is attracted to Juventus. So Vicario previously had reached an agreement with Inter Milan. That was all set to go. However, there was a bit of a disagreement happening, let's just say that, from what we understand. And if anyone's been following the news that was going on at has anyone been following the news with what's been going on with Barcelona and the fallout with Fabrizio Romano? Has anyone been following that whole saga? Because it just went absolutely on fire. Basically, what happened was, hold on, let me see if I can even find it. Right. So basically, what happened was, at the end of May, Fabrizio Romano jumped the gun. He came out and was like, oh, Barcelona have put in a bid for Alvarez and they're making this huge bid for Alvarez. And Atletico Madrid were like, that's not the case. You've completely undermined us, because essentially Fabrizio Romano was probably fed news or paid or whatever to publish this news, Barcelona going in for Alvarez. And it all kicked off. And then Atletico Madrid came out and they started to post these like complete troll. They started to post these complete trolling tweets, basically saying, here we go, we're going to sign Lamine Yamal, he's already agreed. And this is from the Atletico Madrid official page. Here we go, we have sent a fax to Barcelona with our transfer offer. They were completely baiting this whole Romano and Fabrizio Romano piece. So the reason why I'm telling you this, guys, and they actually did this with 3 other players as well. So they did this, here we go for our second offer, we've had a problem, we've run out of tickets. And then they also did a third as well. So the whole reason why I'm telling you this is because when it comes to people like Romano, people like the journalists, sometimes they are paid by the clubs to release certain certain news, right? And so you could say that maybe this whole Juventus and Inter Milan fallout, maybe an agreement was reached, and then this whole Inter thing fell apart because maybe someone jumped the gun and released it before Inter Milan wanted to disclose the details of it because they knew Juventus was interested. And so that therefore you then create a bidding war. So I don't know, I'm just speculating, but as you can see from this, it all kicked off between Fabrizio Romano and Atletico Madrid. So finally, we want to, as Atletico Madrid said, finally, we want to take this opportunity to categorically deny that we have made an offer to the sporting director of Barcelona to join our scouting team in the Brazilian market. So basically, Atletico Madrid went absolutely mental on Twitter last week. Atletico Madrid would never do something like that. We've been suffering a smear campaign against one of our players, leaked information with ulterior motives, fake news, constant disrespect. So, look, you can see from this that the way that these transfers work, considering this was Atletico and Barcelona, having it out in the public domain on Twitter is just insane. I've never seen anything like this before. Propaganda machine, inventing little stories, calls before direct matchups. So look, guys, when we talk about players, we talk about players like Vicario and the whole Inter Milan, and, I wouldn't be surprised if news is coming out from certain reports which are fed propaganda and lies from the club to make us think that they're moving forward with bids and deals, right? So there you have it, in terms of maybe some speculation around that. In other news, guys, some of you were asking a little bit earlier in the stream about Rashford. So let's just quickly move over to Rashford. Alvarez bid was confirmed by all the reliable journalists. No, it came from Romano. This is the whole thing. They all piggybacked off Romano. It's a small circuit, guys. You have to remember it's a small circuit. You've got a few hundred journalists, right? Maybe thousands around the world, but in English, realistically, it's going to be like less than a thousand reliable journalists. So if Barcelona want to leverage something, they might use Romano as a mouthpiece to spin the story, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised because we see it all the time. All of these links, someone's put these links in the press. You got to think, like, what's the motive behind it, right? So it was confirmed by all reliable journalists, but in the same way, you could see this morning how the ENIC statement was released from one source, and within half an hour, it was on the New York Times, Telegraph, Daily Mail, Talk Sport. Everyone had covered it within an hour. Football London, everyone had covered it. So these stories move like wildfire. So if Romano is the most reliable source out there, puts something out, then of course other journalists are going to piggyback off it because it sounds legit. So I don't think it was confirmed. But hey, who knows? But look, Atletico Madrid is saying there was a smear campaign. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about, because some of you were asking earlier, there's been no names to any added of these, by the way. I have added Cody Gakpo. So did I not put Rashford on here? I thought I had Rashford on here. Yeah, I did have Rashford. So, Alistair Gold and O'Keefe originally said that Marcus Rashford was unlikely. However, news out today is that Tottenham are thought to be interested in Marcus Rashford. Man United believe that they can raise a greater fee by selling Rashford elsewhere. Essentially, Spurs don't want to pay the money for him. They don't want to foot up the bill. However, Rashford may be forced to pick Tottenham because no one else is in for him right now. So, there's been no other links to other clubs. Rashford is kind of maybe being pushed out of United. I'm not sure. There have been some links with Bayern Munich. They could pay the transfer fee to Man United, and they are stating a transfer fee of 40 million euros. Barcelona cannot pay that amount at once, so it's not an issue for Bayern Munich. So Bayern Munich can be in the mix. Newcastle also in the mix for Rashford. It's thought that they do have an interest, but it depends whether they can raise more money. But then they have just sold Gordon, so maybe they do have a bit of money lying about. Arsenal are believed to have interest in Marcus Rashford. I can't basically Man United want to get as much money as possible and they don't want to sell to Spurs. So if they sell to a club like Arsenal, maybe they get more money, basically. But I think the link with Spurs is very, very weak, if I'm honest. I can't see Rashford coming to Spurs. I don't think the player wants to come. That's the truth. So basically, Barcelona are delaying the activation on the buyout. Bayern Munich are ready to go. Feelers around Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, I think is really because Man United would prefer to sell to an English club so they can get more money for him. That's how I'm reading the situation at a high level. But let me know what you guys think in terms of Rashford. And to be honest with you, Rashford or Gakpo. I don't know. Rashford or Gakpo. What do you guys reckon? Not that we could get any of either of those guys, but I am curious what you guys think. And actually, I did do a little bit of a deep dive into this. I did do a bit of a deep dive. Am I lagging loads today? I feel like I'm lagging loads. But I did do a bit of a deep dive into this. So Rashford versus Gakpo. Not that I'm talking as if we can actually get any of these players, but this is compared to Savinho and Tell. And actually, Savinho, there wasn't enough data on Savinho for the 25-26 season. However, based on his 24-25 season, he actually had the fantastic season. He's not the best scorer. And as you can see from the MPG, which is the non-penalty goals, he didn't score many non-penalty goals. But in terms of his accurate passing, his crosses, his carrying, his dribbling, his assists, Savinho outweighs any of these players in all of these areas. Rashford is obviously the better finisher of them all. But actually, Tell, when you look at it, Tell is a better finisher than Gakpo this season. And I'm just looking at this season. So, of course, we know that Liverpool this year did not have the best season. And maybe the whole Jota situation, you could say, maybe put a dampener on things for Liverpool. The turmoil of the manager, maybe the players just weren't performing for him. But in terms of last season and the season before, Savinho looks like the better player. What are you guys saying? What are you guys saying? I don't know if all your comments are coming through. All rumours when it's on the website. I'll believe it. Just gossip. Which bit? Which bit? It is just gossip. It is, but it's the rumour mill, isn't it? It's the transfer rumour mill. Look, when a player signs, it's not as exciting. Look, no one cared about Robertson signing because it was already done today. It was already done. Same as Senesi. It's done. It's done. Senesi is done. Don't worry about it. Just get Savinho over the line. Who else? Get Van Hecker over the line. Get a good defensive midfielder in, even if it's not Paulinho. Get a striker. Get another left winger. I don't care. We need players. We need to upgrade. I've always liked the Dutch links. Yeah, we have had a few over the years, haven't we? Steele, no. Savinho, yes. Savinho, no. 2 goals in the same amount of years. Don't worry about the goals. Don't worry. De Zerbi will sort it out. De Zerbi will sort it out. I've got full faith in De Zerbi. Trust my manager. I've never got behind a manager so hard as I have Roberto De Zerbi. Van der Ven going to be gone next season, clearly looking building defence by replacing defenders that are there now. I think he might stay. I think Mickey's going to stay. I think what we're talking about now is our back line is heavily weighted to the centre back on the right. We've got three right centre backs. Danso, Dragusin, and Romero. And we've only got Mickey van der Ven on the left. So I don't think Van der Ven's going. What I think is happening is we're building depth in the squad. Maybe he does go, but I do think that you've got Vuskovic coming through, who's going to replace Dragusin. if he stays, he might go out on loan, depending on what campaign. And so far, he hasn't had the best campaign in the World Cup in the friendlies. And then you've got Romero to get rid of. So you need two centre backs. If you're going to get rid of Mickey as well, then we need a third. So I think it's too much change in one season, but who knows? Baturina, 50 million reported to Como. I think I saw something about that. Yeah, one useless winger just gone. Need Odebear and them two, and their centre mids and Berg. The problem with Odebear is he's injured. I mean, you can't. It's so hard to sell. It's so hard to sell injured players. It's really hard to sell injured players, isn't it? I'm just looking up Baturina. Funny, he's left wing attacking mid, but can also play defensive mid. That's a bit random. Don't know when his contract is up though. Conference League next season. Well, not next season, the season after, but we can get Europe. We finish it. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I believe. I believe. I believe. And I believe because I think ENIC, they're gonna be selling. Well, not them, but the 24.99% is gonna be sold. 50 million bids. Baturina. What is the news on this Baturina? There's no links to Spurs. There's no links to Spurs. I can see anyway. Bayern. Bayern have made some contact. 50 to 55 million euros. The club's position is that a sale will only be considered for a truly irresistible proposal, quantified at a minimum of 80 million euros. We're not going to 80 million. Would we? I don't think we go for 80 million for a 23-year-old. Maybe we do. I don't know. I can't see that. Can't see that. If that's true, I don't know. But there's links to Bayern. But hey, Bayern are linked to everyone. Can Bayern buy this many players? I don't know. Need two strikers to Solanke and Richarlison need to go. Yeah, we agree with that. Where did Alice predict Arsenal will finish? I've no idea. Didn't watch the video. Maybe people in the chat know. I don't know. She probably predicted them to win the league, to be honest. But I don't know. I don't know too much about her views. Please move on from Rashford. Doesn't want to come. Don't want to see him anywhere near this squad. Well, yeah. Well, look, he might have turned us down. Maybe it was the news. Yeah, Savinho can't be as bad as finishing as Werner was. We're going to play in such a different style next year, guys. We're going to play such a different style. Like, De Zerbi really likes wide on the flanks, cutting inside. Ange Ball was down the wings, cross it in. Whereas De Zerbi is more like possession-based, cut inside, and then shoot, basically. So very similar styles in terms of attacking, very different technical abilities. So at the moment, Tell is not the ideal player for a De Zerbi coded system, I don't think. He's very good with possession and okay with finishing, but he's great at crossing, but he's not necessarily great at like cutting inside and things like that. So I think De Zerbi wants players that can cut inside, and Savinho is a player that can cut inside. So particularly as he plays on the right wing. And some of you have been saying he's a left wing player, but he can play on both, but his preferred is that right side. And I think he's left footed, right? So maybe this fits more of a De Zerbi sort of style that he wants to build within his squad. I'm just speculating, but that's my sort of like Yeah. Yeah, Savinho's a left-footed right winger, so it kind of makes sense because he wants teams to cut in, doesn't he? I was just checking. Um, Maybe that's why. What else are you guys saying? Is it true we have actually signed a player and Levy has sold up all in one day? Well, the first is true. The latter, we are waiting for the official announcement. Surely Mikey Moore will be given some game time. Speculation is Mikey Moore might go back on loan to Rangers. Hopefully this club could buy Liao. So that was a name that was linked a few days ago as well, Liao. We ruled that one out because it sounded like there wasn't anything in it. However, there was some connections earlier today to suggest that maybe it was back on the cards, but someone tweeted it earlier, pretty sure. Someone tweeted about it earlier. Oh, there we go. Bournemouth has already initiated discussions over Tel. Oh, this was what you guys were just saying in the chat. They presented an offer of 50 million to Como. Apparently that is true. I don't know who this guy is though, if he's reputable. Lisboa, Portuguese journalist. Maybe there is weight to that one. No, I can't see the Liao. I did see a link with Liao earlier today though, so it's plausible. Plausible, not impossible. Bring back Timo Werner. Bring back Brian Gill. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Kaminsky. I watched Poland versus Sweden and he gave me Modric vibes. Was that game any good? I saw Bergvall came on late in the game. He was a sub, wasn't he? Was that game any good? Kaminsky. Where's he from? FC Köln. Wolfsburg. Oh, he was on loan. He's at Wolfsburg. Bloody hell, this guy can play everywhere. Oh, it's his birthday today. It's his birthday today. Is this the player you mean? I presume this is the guy you mean. Sonny J. Attacking mid, striker, centre mid. Thing is, what's his best position? 34 matches, 7 goals, 3 assists. Probably mid. Probably mid. Thing is, what would he fall under? Oh no. Well, he doesn't look as good as the others. Based on that, he's like in the lower raw for the raw numbers. Nah, doesn't look good enough. Just based off the stats that I plugged in, he doesn't look good enough. But I could be wrong. He doesn't look good enough. I'm taking Rashford off because he's not coming either. So then someone, just as I did that, Rashford and Savinho would be electric. I think we probably, oh my God, guys, we need so much. We need so much up front. We just need so much. We need a goalkeeper still. We still need a goalkeeper. I tell you what, Johan Lang's got his work cut out being the only sporting director at this club since our board have been incompetent of getting anyone else in. Maybe this is why they didn't announce the sporting director. Maybe they were waiting for this to get leaked. I don't know. Maybe they were waiting. Savinho is like Aaron Lennon. Is that good? Is that good? The thing that we've always lacked is consistently good players, right? This is like we've always had good players. They are good players. The problem is they're not consistently electric. They're not consistently amazing. They're just like good players and they have good days. But really, if you want to take it to the next level, you need players that can play at that peak every single game. And that we've lacked massively. So I liked Aaron Lennon at Spurs. He wasn't like a worldie or anything like that, but he was really good. The same as players like Lucas Moura, right? They're really good Spurs player for their time, but weren't like necessarily amazing. Um, Vlahovic is vital. I think I couldn't find the stats for him, could I? Or maybe because he's a striker. I don't think he came up. No, he's strike. Oh, because I compared him in the striker category. That's why. Um. Oh, we can dream. Bring back Harry from Brian. We can dream. Langer's didn't. No, Langer's less weight than Levy. Langer's less weight. Um. It's very unlikely that Spurs will sign six £80 million players. Roberto De Zerbi will have to buy freebies, loans, cheapos, 40 to 50, and maybe one £80 million. It's not fantasy football. True, true. Depends how much money they can raise. And that's why I think we haven't heard any confirmations yet about Romero going. I think Romero deal is done. I think Romero's done. I think he's already gone. I think he's gone to Atleti already, to be honest. I think that deal was done in January, and that's why we've heard nothing. And I think the announcement will come very quickly after the World Cup. And I think it's been intentional that Romero's name has not been in the news. Because think about it, Romero's been throwing his toys out the pram all bloody season, and then all of a sudden he's fit for the World Cup, and there is no transfer speculation whatsoever. So I think Romero is I think that deal's done. And I think I've got, look, I could be so wrong. I could be so wrong, but I just think that they must know that they have money coming in from somewhere. And the fact that we don't know any of these players have been sold yet, and here we are buying Robertson, Savinho, um, Senesi, I think the money for Romero is going to buy these three players. That's my speculation. That's my speculation. Um, Yeah, 100 mil, 150. Yeah, like if Romero has a good World Cup, how much is he worth? 60? Could we get 60 for Romero? Maybe. I think it depends. And actually, on that front, because obviously today we were going to talk about the World Cup, got massively sidetracked, but there was some stuff on the World Cup that I did want to talk about. But I guess just the main thing is that just to touch on it was that the everyone's saying that Portugal are going to win the World Cup. Everyone's on Portugal winning the World Cup. I don't know if Portugal win the World Cup, but what I would love to see is a France versus England final. I would actually love to see that. I would love to see a Declan Rice, Harry Kane versus Mbappe and Dembele final, right? Redemption for Bayern Munich versus and Arsenal versus PSG. That would be epic. But people are saying that it's probably Spain or Portugal is going to win, but I don't think that's the case. I think we've got better running than people think. Robertson is my girl's surname. She got a Chelsea tattoo. She got a Chelsea tattoo. Oh dear, Sunny J. Oh dear. Did you see the French team complaining about the heat? I didn't, but I can imagine it's really hot in America right now. I can imagine. Oh my god, My neighbours are at it again. Literally, I swear. Let me see if I can find. It's really annoying. Why can't I? No, I don't. Instagram doesn't like desktop for some reason. But there was a video which was all about like all the training camps and everything. I'm gonna have to replan that live for another time. But there are obviously some probabilities and stuff like that. But we can do that another day. Because today was obviously all about, yeah. Tony can't come because of tax. Canada versus the USA final. I mean, we did say that we were going to talk about the new. We said we were going to talk about the new rulings. Maybe I can just run over it very quickly. But I didn't actually plan any slides because there was just so much. And by the way, guys, just to remind everyone, because where we started this live was obviously all about the ENIC takeover and everything. Don't forget, and I have it up on my phone, it's just reminded me that on the 8th of September, Tottenham or the board actually made a statement regarding media speculation. So if it is all speculation, I wonder whether they're going to come out. I wonder whether they're going to come out with another statement like the one they did in September, basically saying that it is all speculation and it's not true. I wonder whether that's going to happen or not. So just very quickly, we can run it down. So I don't have slides for this, but the World Cup IFAB confirms that there are new VAR superpowers. So I wonder actually if I can get this up. So there's like new technologies and stuff. Here we go. Right, so latest updates on this World Cup thing is basically there are 10-second substitutions and there is a tactical timeout ban. And this is all because of what's been going on in various other games. So, for example, what happened in the AFCON this year with the Morocco players leaving the pitch and all the backlash from that. There's been a lot of changes in terms of the World Cup. So to bring you guys in some new rules around this. So first of all, there's going to be 5-second countdowns for both throw-ins and goal kicks. And I think, isn't it 8 seconds in the Prem? I think it's 8 seconds in the Prem. So 5 seconds is very, very quick. That is very quick. There's also red cards for players covering their mouths during confrontations. So on this one, from what I was reading, the red card is not necessarily if just any player covers their mouth. It's basically if they're having like a confrontation and then they're covering their mouth, then it's going to be an immediate red card. There's also punishments for teams walking off in protest, and that one was regards to what happened at the AFCON. And there is also the 1 minute mandatory period for treatment when a player goes off. So in the Japan, so there was a Japan friendly played a couple of days ago, and what happened in that Japan friendly was player went off the pitch, and whilst the player had to have a minute off the pitch for absolutely nothing, it was never supposed to be off the pitch in the first place. I'm just getting this up, but what essentially happened was, sorry, it was Iceland, wasn't it? It was Iceland. Iceland had Iceland had a moment where the player had to go off the pitch, and then Japan came in and scored while the player was off the pitch, literally in that minute. And so it created some controversy and backlash as to the player probably should never have gone off the pitch. But I didn't watch it too closely. So, in effect, there's basically been a lot of changes, which basically means that VAR have a lot more power when it comes to decisions at the World Cup, which I think is kind of a good thing. I don't know. I think this is kind of a good thing, realistically, because I don't think the 5 second rule has been that bad in the Prem in terms of the goalkeeper kicking it out and teams time wasting and things like that. So essentially, referees are going to have more control. The other thing I read as well, which is not on here, is the red cards can be overturned by VAR, and I think maybe yellow cards, maybe. I need to double check that. So tactical timeouts are going to be stopped. There's going to be hydration breaks as well. So drink breaks, a bit like the game we saw the last game of the season at Spurs. Halfway through the first half, there was a drinks break. Knowing this being in America, there'll probably be some entertainment when that happens. But of course, I'm being facetious. But it's going to be a 3-minute hydration break. I can't remember where I saw it about the red cards being overturned, but I'm pretty sure. Look, it sounds like it's coming in line with what we do in the Prem, to be honest. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I will need to look into it more. Apparently, there's new the delayed offside flag. New technology to be used. FIFA will introduce advanced semi-automated offside. Okay, so this is basically what we have in the Prem, and it's not faster, which should make decisions faster. If there's been anything that we've seen in the past couple of seasons, VAR, semi-automated VAR, has not made it faster. If anything, it's made it more corrupt and it's made these decisions longer. So maybe Portugal will win. Who knows? But yeah, I can't remember what the yellow card overruling was, so I'll have to look into that for next time. But anyway, this World Cup is going to be a damp squid, half-empty stadium, outrageous prices for water and food when they call. Yeah, I saw the article about the water as well. There was a whole backlash. They were like, "Oh my goodness, American stadiums aren't letting fans take in water." Like it literally sounds like Woodstock. But I think in the Prem, in stadiums in England, you can't take in your own drinks. So it's not huge. It's not huge. Like we can't do that here realistically. Is that what it was? Reviewing second yellows. Okay. It's the 2 yellows, yeah. So there is quite a few changes. Look, guys, none of us the World Cup is not going to heat up until realistically the final 16, and of course there's now an additional round as well before that happens. There's going to be an additional knockout phase now, because with 48 teams, you're going to have the first 2 teams go through automatically, and then the third team is going to have a playoff game. So then there's like this additional round in between as well. So I think when it's going to get most exciting is going to be, those final knockout stages, realistically. And also, it's just a horrible time, isn't it, in the UK? I remember last World Cup, I was watching it like all day, when there was nothing to watch. I just had it on in the background, even if it was games I didn't care about. Now, you're going to stay up till 2 in the morning to watch a random game that you don't really care about. So, people are only going to realistically watch the ones that they are really passionate about. Japan are going all the way. Big up, Pete. Maybe. Do you remember where Ireland got robbed against France? Do you remember when Ireland got robbed against France with Robbie Keane and Henry? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Kane doing nothing will disappear like always. No, I'd say the England team has been built around Kane. There's been a lot of speculation around the England team saying the England team isn't good enough. For me personally, I think that Tuchel has been very smart, and I think that we needed a change in personnel because it didn't get us over the line last time. You've got a lot of winning mentality players in the squad this time, and I think that he's designed his squad around Harry Kane. That's what I think's happened. I think he's gone in and he said, right, we need Harry Kane is a deep line nine. He's a deep line striker, and you need players around him to run forward so he can progress the ball forward. And that's what he's been absolutely amazing at. Guys, over 60 goals this season. Over 60 goals. It's insane. Kane is on the form of his life. He is on the run of his life, Kane. He's on the run of his life. And do you know what? Eze, after embarrassing himself, not in front of Spurs fans, but in front of the whole bloody footballing world, missing that penalty. Do not forget what happened when Harry Kane was in the limelight and missed a penalty. When Harry Kane missed a penalty in the World Cup, he went away and he said, I am never missing a penalty ever again. And he practiced and he practiced and he practiced. And now he is one of the best penalty takers in the world, if not in history. His conversion rates are insane, Harry Kane. So if Eze can replicate that and redeem himself from that Champions League Cup, then maybe Eze can, turn it around as well. He can redeem himself. And I'd rather he redeems himself for England rather than Arsenal, let's be honest. Let's be honest. We can put our rivalries aside when it comes to England. No, I don't. I think it's done. I think Romero. We've always known Romero wants to go to Atletico. He wants to go to Atletico. Half the Argentina team are there. Half the Argentina team play for Atletico. He's literally going to be with the Argentina team now and his brand new teammates. So I don't think it longs out. I think that was one that was decided. I think he probably got a strike next to his name in January. The guy came out 3 years calling the board out. So my daughter says Kane is lazy when he plays for England. He's getting older. He's changed his style of play. He's changed his style of play completely, Kane. He's a deep line striker now. He doesn't have the same legs. But that's what happened to Messi. Messi did the same thing as he got slightly older in his career as well. So it's hardly surprising. But you need good runners around you, and I think that's where Tuchel might have got it right. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow the other players so closely to know, but it's just the impression that I get from the squad that he's chosen. The Heat will get to England. The Heat. Everyone's playing in the same heat. Everyone is playing in the same heat. So um, get a corner for a late goal. No more long ball throw cleaning set pieces. No, Pete. We're moving away from the Premier League football in the World Cup. Thank goodness for that. I don't know. Japan going to the final. I don't know. That's a long shot. I think Norway probably have a better chance. Don't sleep on Norway. Definitely do not sleep on Norway. And I don't think Sweden are good enough, but I think Norway have a pretty. The main teams you're looking at are France, England, Portugal, Spain, Netherlands, Norway, and then I think you're clutching a bit at the rest further down than that. Argentina. Well, look, from the seeds in terms of like the pots and everything, Argentina and Spain are top, aren't they? And then no, sorry, Spain and France and Argentina are top, and then Spain and England. England's third and Spain's fourth. So that's how the seeding worked in terms of like the pots of which they all went into. So I don't think that they get that far, Japan, to be honest. Um, so yeah. So the top four ranked global teams, which are the four that I just said. So top two sides, Spain and Argentina, they're on completely the opposite side of the brackets and the routes. And then you've got France and England, and they're also separated. So Spain and Argentina can't play each other till the final, and France and England can't play each other till at least the semi-final. That's how it's been structured. So those four big name teams will be on different side of the tree basically until you get to at least the semi-final, if not the final. So they won't play each other before then, which makes the run-in easier, I guess, for those big teams. So teams like Japan, I don't know if they have like such a chance of getting all the way. Although Japan, I don't know what. Japan. My computer's done it again. Japan are in Group F. They're in a group with Netherlands, so they probably will qualify. They probably will qualify for the next stages. The group of death is probably this one, is Group I. So you're looking at France, Norway, Senegal. Those three are quite competitive. They've been named the group of death. Whether they actually are or not, I don't know. But the odds are that Norway has a higher chance of going through than Senegal. But I wouldn't rule out Senegal after they won the AFCON this year. Wouldn't rule it out. They've got a pretty decent squad. It's just that everyone's looking at Haaland, aren't they? And then, of course, you've got England, who are favourites to win Group L. So, look, it's all to play for, isn't it? It's all to play for. Portugal, Colombia, 28% chance to get through to the next stage as well. I think those are... Oh, Uruguay, you could say, is another team up there as well. Uruguay's got some quite good players in it as well. They've got a fairly decent team. Maybe you'd want to keep an eye on them. This is saying speculatively Egypt could finish second in their group as well. This is kind of like an easiest group, this G1. Belgium, Egypt, Iran, France. But yeah, I would say Japan go through over Switzerland. I don't think Sweden, not Switzerland. I don't think Sweden have a strong enough squad. They've got some very good players, but as a squad, it might be quite ambitious for them to get through. But who knows? Anything can happen on the day, right? And obviously a lot of speculation around the USA going quite far in this. They're in Group D with Turkey, Paraguay and Australia. Also, you'd expect them. Well, yeah, maybe Turkey could give them a run for it as well. Brazil, the other team to look out for. Brazil, probably one to look out for as well. When can Brazil play Argentina? I'm not sure. I need to look into that. Sarah, I'm not sure if it's working, but I sent you a message in the chat about a watch along. Wait, which was that about Japan watch along? I know England are playing tomorrow night in a friendly. However, I am at Sava's barbecue tomorrow, so I would expect me to be having a drink. Hey, Sarah, is a chance. Oh, would you do a watch along to the World Cup? Or are you going to have a summer off because of Spurs relegation battle? We will do one watch along. Definitely at least one for sure. I have got some exciting stuff coming up though. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say what stuff is going on, but like there's some stuff going on. So so I might not be here. Like I'm not going abroad, but like stuff is happening. So I'm gonna have to see my availability. But I'm not going on holiday just yet. I'm not going on holiday. I'm an on the fly kind of gal, so I haven't like put any concrete holiday plans in. And then obviously, everything's really expensive now. It's wedding season, so I've got like a million weddings this summer and hen parties and just so much stuff going on with work that the holiday is going to have to be postponed probably until later this year. So yeah. When can Brazil play Argentina? I'm actually not sure. I need to get up a tree, the World Cup tree. I tried to create one the other night, but I'd say though, I don't know. Brazil have Neymar. I still think Uruguay. People shouldn't sleep on Uruguay because I still think they're a good team. Brazil can play Argentina semi-finals or the finals. Semi-finals or the finals. If they both win their groups, then they could meet in the semis. If one finishes runner-up, then they'll meet in the final if they get that far. Brazil and Argentina, which I think is pretty much the same. The way it's been done this time, because there's 48 teams instead of the 32, I think that's kind of the same for all the top seeds in all the groups. Realistically, they can't meet each other until at least the semi-finals. Get your wall planner out. I know. I still have nothing behind me. I know. Do need a wall. I do need. You're right, data shapes. I do need a wall planner. No, not my wedding, Richard. Not my wedding. No, the bridesmaid, but not the bride. One AFCON thought Senegal was stripped of the title. I'm not sure. Were they? Thought Senegal was stripped of the title. Maybe. What? Because of the whole ruckus that happened at the end of it. Maybe. Will you take Croatia to the cleaners? Oh, well, it's going to be Harry Kane versus Luka Vuskovic, isn't it? Young kid on the block versus our veteran honorary Spurs player. I did actually have an England shirt that I was going to put on, but it's inside because the whole ENIC story came out. But yeah, I wasn't showing my new England shirt, which I actually really like. Which is what Brazil are going to win it. I mean, I mean they could do. There was problem is it's a bit small on here. It's a bit small, but yeah, there's a few Arsenal. We've got Arsenal players, PSG, Flamengo. They've got a lot of Flamengo players in their squad. A lot of Flamengo players. Cunha, Enrique, Martinelli. We've got quite a strong squad. Rafinha. Yeah, I've got quite a strong squad, Brazil. Didn't they have Neymar in it as well? I thought they had Neymar in it. Can't see his name. I thought he was in it. Yeah, he is in it. He is in it. Norway squad's quite strong, yeah. But they've got a lot of Bodo Glint players. Norway have a lot of Bodo Glint players. And guys, we know how far Bodo Glint got this year in the Champions League. And we know that they got to the semi-finals of the Europa League last year. And then they've got Haaland up top. So this could be a very interesting run-in for Norway, who probably no one would expect. Those are the stats on who will win the World Cup. I wonder if I can make this bigger. Oh no, it doesn't work. Sort of does. So they're saying Spain to most likely to get to the quarters, most likely to win it. Odds are on Spain. France second, England third, and Argentina fourth. That's what the betting odds are. Obviously Pedro Porro played for Spain last night. The Argentina squad. This one's quite a strong one as well. They've got a lot of players from Atletico Madrid, as we said before, a couple of Marseille players as well. Fernandez, Chelsea, McAllister, Liverpool. They've got quite a strong squad. They've got look at this: Alvarez, Simeone, Gonzalez, Almada, Molina, Musso. I mean, it's just calling for Romero's name just to have like Atletico Madrid next to it, doesn't it? Netherlands, another strong squad. Van Dijk, Liverpool, Inter. I'd say Netherlands probably have the most international squad. They probably have the most international squad in terms of diversity of their players. They've got Ake, who came on in their friendly the other night as well. Hato, who came on for the friendly as well. Timber. So they've got the Netherlands squad have a lot of Prem players. Interestingly, the England squad doesn't actually have that many Prem players. Well, they do, but like they have a lot of players playing internationally as well. But for some reason, the Netherlands, you've got Gravenberch from Liverpool. Okay, you've got Barcelona, Juventus, but you've got Rangers from Man City, Weaver from Brighton, Brobby from Sunderland, Gakpo Liverpool. So they've got Somerville from West Ham. I think Netherlands have quite a strong international. Oh, what happened there? Doesn't like it. Doesn't like it. My Instagram didn't like the England squad. It was like, no, don't do the England one. Why is it not showing? Bastards. Okay, so it's not showing the England squad, but it's letting me show you Spain. Why is that? Why is that? Um, Spanish squad's quite strong as well. I mean, look, they're pretty much favourites to win it. But when you look at this, when you look at these players, are they really that much more competitive than any of the others? I'm not so convinced. Rodri, Man City, Marino, Arsenal, Williams. I don't know. I think the England squad is just as strong. Portugal, they have a decent squad, but it's mostly all about Ronaldo for them, isn't it? Um, what are you guys saying? Netherlands have been strong on paper for a couple of decades. Yeah, I can't remember where they got to. Well, look, they got to the final in, when were they in the final? 2002. I actually drove to the Netherlands when they played Spain in the final. Yep, I drove to the Netherlands and then Spain won. That was a long drive. That was a long drive to the Netherlands. And then they didn't win. Anyway, who else have they got? Cancelo. The Portugal squad is probably the weakest of like the top. I'd even say the Netherlands squad, other than Ronaldo. Bar Ronaldo, this Portuguese squad is good. It's really good, but it's not like outstanding, I don't think, compared to some of the others. They do have Neto, I suppose. They've got some good players in there, but I still think the others are stronger. Now, the France team, this is, I think, I'm so surprised Spain is the team that everyone's backing, because I really think France have like probably the better squad. I don't know. That's just me personally, but they have Gusto, Konate, Hernandez, um, Tuchemeni, and then obviously their forward line: Dembele, Doué, Mbappe, Elise, Cherki, Mateta, Barcola, Thuram, Akalush. I mean, that's just insane. That is an insane amount of forward talent that they have. Insane. I don't know how you can compare that to the Spanish. What? Because they have Yamal. I mean, for me personally, I think the France squad is probably the best, and I don't know why the England squad is not showing. I don't know why it's not showing. It's really annoying. Anyway, by now you guys probably know the England squad anyway, I'd like to think. That was the. Here we go. There you go. There was another one. It's not actually making it any bigger. But yeah, the England squad is. I think it's decent. I still think the France squad is better, to be honest. I mean, our forwards are okay, other than Harry Kane, Saka. I still Amadueke. I still think the French squad is just unbelievable. Gordon, Eze, who's going to redeem himself from a penalty kick, isn't he? Declan Rice, stand out probably in the England squad. Our backline is quite good, but I think creatively, other than Harry Kane, realistically, I think the Spanish squad is the one that everyone's looking. The French squad, sorry, is the one everyone's looking at. 5 goals is class for a World Cup final. Look, Bayern Munich versus PSG, semi-final of the Champions League. 6-5 on aggregate. 6-5 on aggregate. Oh man, please give me the Harry Kane Dembele final. I'd pay to see that. I don't really care about Spain as much, I've got to be honest. I don't really understand the big deal of the Spanish squad unless I'm massively underestimating them. I guess they've won they've won the competition in the past, haven't they, Spain, in recent times? So, what are you guys saying? Instagram is racist. Instagram is racist. I don't know. Lamine Yamal is not. What are you guys chatting? Portuguese, yeah. It's not just the strikers though. You've got to have a solid team. You've got to have a solid team. They have the bid midfield. They have the best midfield, do they? They have the best midfield. Who have they got in their midfield? Costa, Neves, Vitinha, Neves, Fernandez, Silva. Do you not think that Tuchemeni and Rabiot and Konate are better? Do we not think they're better? I think that's a better midfield. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm not so familiar. Spain or Argentina for me. The climate, yeah, the climate is going to be a biggie, isn't it? Portugal is weaker because the not real Ronaldo's in the squad. French will either win it or implode. France midfield is rubbish. Maybe. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. I don't know. Look, people are saying Portugal will win it. People are saying the odds are saying Spain, but people are saying Portugal are going to win it. I also think it depends on the run-in, right? It depends on the run-in. They're all, yeah, that's true. They are all good. They are all good teams. They are the world's best. The world's best. Saka is not taking penalties. Yeah, do we think Eze is going to take penalties as well? We are not winning with this squad. A lot of people are thinking that, but don't rule out Harry Kane. I would never pick Harry Kane for a final. Nah, you gotta be kidding. The guy's gonna win the Ballon d'Or. If he's gonna win the Ballon d'Or, you have to do something great in the World Cup. Change the name of the stream. ENIC denying Levy sale of shares. Why? Has there been any updates on that? Has there been any updates? You need your strikers to be in the box at all times. Well, not if you're Harry Kane. France is lazy. Biased comment, but Portugal has the most complete team. I don't know if it is biased though. I don't know if it is biased. They're all great teams, and there's always competition, right? Right, guys. Before we drop off, I'm just gonna have a double check of is there any more news coming out from the club? No. Just the interview. Is there anything else coming out? What are you guys saying? I've got Harry Kane for the Golden Boot. Yeah, I don't know. It could be his year. It could be his year. Look, the reason why people are saying Portugal is because Messi won it last time. And people are saying if Ronaldo is going to win the World Cup, this is his last chance to do it. That's why everyone's backing Portugal, because the speculation is that if it's a rigged game, then obviously Ronaldo's going to take it, isn't he? But I'd love to see Harry Kane win it, not just because I'm in England, not just because I'm English, but because he's a Spurs player. I'd love him. Well, he was a Spurs player. He's one of our own. So I'd love him to make that announcement on the world stage. Right, guys, please do like, subscribe, comment, and share, and all of that jazz. I'm just checking if there was anything else coming out. Any other bits? No, just from Michael Dawson. Don't know if anyone cares about that. Yes, you are late to the party, Wind Rider. You are late to the party. We've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So we're just wrapping up, and I was just checking if there was any other news. Group says in the sport investment group. Oh, okay. Yeah, these spins are very clever on the way that this news is breaking. Oh my God, ENIC Group have a review page on Google. They have a review page on Google. They've got a 3.4 review from 8 people voting. Anyway, there's no other news on that. probably ENIC have got their fingers in the pie and they're probably embargoing it. So we'll find out more in the coming days, I think, as with the Senesi deals. So we are now 6 days out from the World Cup, 6 days to potentially sign 3 more players. Let's see if we can get them over the line. Maybe the ENIC piece was a bit of distraction. Who knows? We'll find out more about Senesi. We'll find out about a bit more about Savinho. We will find out a bit more about who is the other one? Van Hecker over the coming days, I reckon. Let's just see if there was anything. I'm just checking, guys, if there was anything else that dropped. Benjamin Nygren, right winger. Oh, no, nothing very important. I don't know, maybe a name to add to the list. Yeah, big up, guys. Someone said in the chat earlier that we'd passed 6K. So, did we actually pass the 6K subs? Did we actually pass 6K? We did. Big up. Big up to you all. 6K. Big up. Thank you. Can't wait for next season when we actually have some exciting football to talk about and not just the restructuring of ENIC and a World Cup. Thanks, Eric. Yes, come on, England. Yeah, look, I will be definitely. I'll definitely look. It's very. Let me know, guys, if there are any other teams. If there are any other teams that you want us to follow, because some people said Scotland because of Robertson now. Some of you have said follow Sweden. Some of you have said, follow the Portuguese team and stuff. So if there's any other teams, we can definitely keep them on the radar. I'll probably just do like rundowns because I think the transfer news is going to go very quiet once the World Cup starts. So I'd much rather actually watch football than speculate about it. I'm going to be honest. That's kind of my jam. So I don't mind watching. The World Cup is not my favourite. Obviously, I'm a team sportswoman, so I much prefer watching the the league, the Premier League. But if that's what's on, then we'll watch the England. Big up, thank you, Sunny J. Neither Spurs nor their owners are aware of any sale. Daniel Levy's minority stake in that company, Alistair Gold. Yeah. I did actually have that article up, I did actually have this article up. This is the biggest load of crap I've ever read in my life. I did have it up, but we didn't touch on it because there's been so much other stuff going on. But it's all lies. How can they say they weren't aware of any sale of a minority stake? Like, what a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. Like, how, like... And besides which, I don't. If it's less than, maybe that's why it's 24.99%. Maybe that's why it's 24.99%. Because if it's 25%, maybe they have to sign off on it. So if it's that very specific number, maybe that is because they don't need ENIC's approval. Who knows? Not true, lady. Been debunked already. What's not true? What's not true? What's not true? Which bit? Hi, Dave. I want to know what's not true. The ENIC statement. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's not true. It's just not been agreed. It's not been affirmed by the Levy-Lewis camp. Look, there is tension. There is tension going on at the top. There is a power struggle. We know this. We know that there's a power struggle. Just let's not distract ourselves from a new sporting director and signing players. That's what we need to focus on. Don't read it if you don't believe it. Which bit? No, I believe it. I believe that Daniel Levy is going to sell. I believe he's going to sell. It just depends when. The question is when and how much for. But he was looking to. This is not a surprise. January, it's not a surprise. Go back and watch those videos that I said. At the very, very beginning of this, I named 3 videos which I'd done earlier this year. Go back and watch those and you'll piece together what we've spoken about today. Anyway, guys. Anyway, we move. Long live today, but thanks guys for your participation. Thanks for the subs, for getting us to 6K. Super excited for the World Cup to start. And yeah, we'll have more in the coming days. Tomorrow, I probably won't be around because, as I said, Sava's having his barbecue, isn't he? So I'm not going to be around tomorrow. So I'll probably catch up with you guys on Sunday. Of course, England are playing tomorrow night in a friendly against New Zealand, but that will be at 9 o'clock and I might be flagging by then. So ENIC tells us lies. Never data shapes. Telling us lies. Can't be the same ENIC that I know. They always tell the truth. Yeah, exactly. You tell them, Arthur. You tell them. People need to get to know. Anyway, guys, have a lovely weekend. We'll be back with more updates and all of that jazz in the coming days as they get announced. Fingers crossed, Senesi and Savino are going to be the next ones through the door, and some other more transfers hopefully to come. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Yeah, big up to you. Thanks for the super chats as well, guys, and sorry if I missed any because I did see a couple. So see you all in the next video very soon. Bye for now.